maybe we can just start as we're excited to see everyone here from Greece. What time, first of all, tell me what time it is. What time is it, where you are?
It is 7:30 p.m.
Perfect. This is a reference point for our friends here at home in Minnesota. So we are starting at 11:30, but it's 7:30 in Greece. So maybe we can go around and just get names and what your major is and maybe what your year is, okay? So we'll start with introductions. Who wants to start?
I can start. I'm Isaac. I am a senior and integrative science major going on the pre-med track. And was there anything else you wanted us to say? No,
Science integrated, you're a
senior.
Senior, you said. Okay,
Yes.
nope, that was everything. Thank you. Makes sense.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. My name's Emma. I'm a psychology major, communication minor, and I am a junior this year.
My name's Maddie. I am a senior this year and I'm an economics major.
My name's Corey. I'm a senior and I'm a sociology major.
My name's Emmett. I'm a junior political science, history, and pre-law student.
My name is Katie. I'm a junior chemistry and nutrition double major.
And Katie's a junior.
And my name's Mia. I'm also a junior and a computer science major.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Even if you don't remember what year you are, it's all good. It's all good. You've been in Greece nearly a semester now. These things get lost. So first question, super easy one. Why'd you choose Greece? And you all sort of chose twice, right? Some of you more than twice with the way COVID made everything change, but had been the existing Greco-Roman or Roman Greco, and then you had to choose again, either Greece or Italy. So how did you land in Greece?
I can go. I just with my major in mind.
Oh, you have to, I don't know, direct a little bit more, speak a little louder. You're kind of quiet. Sorry.
With my majors and minors, I knew that there would be a lot of history and kind of law type courses here. And I knew that I'd be able to work pretty hands-on. So like last week I did a presentation on the Parthenon, which was really cool, and I was standing right next to it. So that was something that I definitely wanted for my academic experience.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. And I picked Greece because of such a variety of scenery within Greece. Like some weekends we go to islands and there are so many different vibes within the islands as well. And then another weekend we hiked Mount Olympus and we've done some stuff in the mountains. And then all within that we live in Athens, which is a huge city. So I really like that Greece had such a wide variety of landscapes and it kind of had something for everyone. So I like that.
Yeah, I second what they both said, and I also heard, well, when the split happened between Greece and Italy, I heard that Greece was especially hospitable, and the country was very excited to welcome visitors and share their culture, and I found that definitely to be true. So I really enjoyed that aspect.
Isaac, since you're kind of off in your own space, I just want to give you a chance to respond too, if you wanted.
Yeah, of course. Mine is actually a little bit opposite of Emmett's. Because I'm pre-med, this program didn't really have any coursework that was medicine. But it's kind of because of that I knew nothing about Greece before coming in. So I wanted to go to a place where, yeah, I literally knew nothing, to literally explore. I knew a little bit about Europe, but not so much about the country of Greece itself. So I was just really excited to get the Europe feel, but also go to a place where I have a chance to learn pretty much everything new.
Cool. So a whole range of reasons for people to go, right? Academic backgrounds, connection specifically to Greece, trying something completely different and new. When you were making the decision on Greece, was there a tip in terms of searching or deciding that you found particularly useful in helping you make that choice?
I think that for me, when it came to designing a study abroad program, it definitely helped to like talk to individual students who went on the programs because like no matter how much you like look at the website or read the brochure, like you don't really get an idea of like the full experience until you talk to people. So obviously this panel is like a good thing to listen to. But then like once we're back on campus, just like connecting with people in our group who have gone and like if you're really interested in like talking more would definitely be helpful.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Emma, did you have any tips that maybe you found useful when you were trying to pick a program initially?
Yeah, I was definitely told to lean on like the program directors. So we had Tony at the start, and now we have Jim. And Jim's been doing a really great job. He was definitely thrown into a crazy situation, but he's really done well leading us all. So I think that talking to previous students is a great tip, and then kind of getting a gauge of is this faculty advisor somebody that has led previous programs? Do they have extensive coursework in maybe the country that you're going to be studying to? So I know in the spring, Dr. Pedro dos Santos is going to be leading a trip to Brazil, and he's from Brazil, and he's done tons of research there. So I think that talking to previous students and then kind of chatting with the directors, definitely something big to do as well.
Yeah, I think something for me was that I was told that in Greece you kind of can feel like you actually live there more and feel more at home and not like an outsider. Because I know that obviously we talked a lot to the kids that did like Greco-Roman or Roman Greco because they could compare both of them when we had to choose, and they were saying like in other countries you kind of felt like a tourist, but in Greece, especially the neighborhood you're in, you can kind of feel like you really live there, and I think that was really important for me. And also for sure not a deciding factor, but something that I didn't know that's a huge perk of Greece is that the cost of living here is a lot lower. So like we can get like a euro or souvlaki for 180 or 250 euro, which is like crazy to have a whole dinner at that price. So that's been really nice because I don't think we've been really limited by money here.
Great. Maddie, anything?
Yeah, I guess when I was deciding, I was kind of looking at the different cultural aspects of things, and kind of what I wanted and what kind of atmosphere I wanted. So, Italy in Rome is obviously different than like Athens. So we just like the different cultural side of things. So I knew with Greece, I would be able to go island hopping, which has been a lot of what we've been doing. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, then I feel like this would be the right program for you. But clearly, islands are not available on every program. And so I would say that was a big draw for me as well. But I would just really emphasize like figure out what you're looking for in a program and then go from there because they all offer a lot of different things.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to another one. I wonder if Mia, we haven't heard from you. Can you describe sort of like a typical day? What's a day like in the life?
Yes, so we have classes obviously during the week, from Monday through Thursday. So a daily like in the life of during the week looks like waking up. We usually have breakfast at our apartments, so that's super nice. And then we go to class. We usually have about like 3 classes a day, and they're an hour and a half long. So that's a little bit different than back home. We also get to have lunch at our like college here, which is super nice for free every day during the week. So we do that. And then usually I come back here to the apartment or to a local coffee shop to do homework. And then just have dinner here. Sometimes we'll go out to like a restaurant or a taverna, depending on if we want to do that, and then come back and go to bed. So
Anyone else? A typical day, if it varies at all? Any distinctions?
Yeah, just one other thing to
Katie, you'll have to talk a little bit more at the microphone, sorry.
Oh yeah, another thing that Mia said, she did a great overview, but a lot of our classes, specifically the art class and the history class, oftentimes, for those class periods, we go either to like museums or archaeological sites. And I think that's like a big thing that draws people to this program also is that like a lot of our classes aren't in the classroom and you really get to experience things like hands-on or like they're right in front of you. So that's really fun.
And I apologize, I think I called you Katie. Corey?
No worries, yep.
Katie's in the corner of my screen in terms of the name on the screen, so it just popped to brain. Okay, how about, how many people are exercising and what are you doing for that sort of as your daily routine? Because I know there's a lot of runners in the group. I think this is the most, you had the largest number of people ever participate in the Athens Marathon with the 5K and the 10K and then the full marathon that we've ever had. Isaac, I saw your microphone come on.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny you mentioned the runners because I'm one of the ones who doesn't run. So I got a gym membership here and I've been going there and it's again like I don't know who was saying like everything is pretty cheap, but it was like pretty inexpensive. But it's nice to just have something, you know, something similar to home. Because if it was Roman Greco, you might not be able to do that and have a membership like that. So for those who don't like running, this is a good option for me to do at least.
Sure, we don't all have to be runners. I'm not a runner. I spend a lot of time running, wondering when does this become something I enjoy again? When I try to be. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think something to add on that for like running or like, I think a lot of people in the neighborhood, there's like an area that a lot of the locals go and a lot of us go above the stadium that is right by our school. And people like are pretty much constantly someone's running kind of like around that track. And then there's also little like body weight exercise areas and like flat like concrete areas where people are doing their own exercises. So I think that that's been a really fun thing to know that like there'll always be people there and like it's a really cool community to like pass other St. Ben St. John students, but also like see people from the neighborhood exercising or walking together, that kind of stuff.
And kind of what you touched on, Jessica, like it was really cool to see the whole group come together at the marathon this past weekend. Athens has one of the biggest marathons in the world since it was like kind of the original place of the starting marathon. And you get the opportunity to participate in, if you want, the 5K, the 10K, or the marathon. And we had 4 guys do the marathon run, and that was super cool to watch. And a majority of us participated in the 5K or the 10K. So that was really fun that we were all kind of able to be active as a group together in like such a fun environment and kind of like a cool historical event. So I think that motivates a lot of people to stay exercise too.
Mm-hmm. And it is cool. I mean, it is where the first marathon was. It feels very appropriate to, if you're going to pick a marathon in some level to get involved with, you should do it while you're in Athens. Okay, tell me about sort of the apartments and housing and what is it? Tell me a little bit about your apartments, like the distance to get to school, some of those things. What's cool about it?
Okay. Yeah, so we all live with each other. So it's just St. Ben, St. John students in each apartment. I can't remember the exact number of apartments that we have, but you'll either be with 3 or 4 other CSB-SJU students, all St. Ben's or all St. John's. And then, yeah, so I share a room, but we have our own kitchen. So we make a lot of our dinners in our apartment as well as breakfast as Mia mentioned earlier. And then we have a little like living room area. All of the apartments are kind of separated. So you're a little bit of a walk away from everyone else, but no more than like, I would say probably 8 minutes max between the 2 farthest people. And my apartment is only about a 5-minute walk from school. I'm not sure how far everyone else is, but yeah, and the neighborhood's super safe. And so I've never felt unsafe or anything. You need a key to get into your building as well as a key to get into your apartment too. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to add.
Yeah, I can kind of add on that. So most of the apartments have balconies that you can dry your clothes on. Some of them don't, unfortunately, which kind of
Most people will get them.
yeah.
We don't have one, but.
Yeah, but if you do have a balcony, it's super nice. You can dry your clothes out there for laundry, or sit out there and absorb the sun or whatever you want to do. But yeah, so that's super nice. Our apartment is probably one of the closest apartments to CYA. It's like a 2-minute walk, and there's like a coffee shop super close. So they're all in pretty good areas with good little shops around and things to do. So.
Yeah, by the way, CYA is College Year in Athens, the school we're studying at. And yeah, I'd say some people are like probably 30 seconds from their door to school, and some people, I live in one of the further ones, but it's still like probably a 7-minute walk. So though like compared to everyone, it feels kind of long, it's super close, and it's really nice that we're all in the same neighborhood. And I like that we're all in different apartment buildings. Like we have neighbors that are families, and like I think it makes you feel like you really like live in the city and live in Athens instead of like all of us being neighbors. So it's a fun thing to, I think, like leave your apartment, go kind of across the neighborhood to each other's.
Anything else? Isaac, how's your apartment? You're the only one not in the other apartment.
Mine is good. Actually, I didn't even know where Muse was, which is why I kind of just stayed back. Until I could have been there though. But I live with 2 other guys. So I'm in a 3-person apartment. So that's like, it's usually, we have approximately from 2 to 4 people. And we all have our own room, which is really nice. So it's kind of a hit or miss. Will you share a room? Will you get your own room? Yeah, ours is really spacious. One thing that's kind of weird is nobody has like a living room area. Sometimes they'll have like a couch that'll merge into like someone's bedroom. But like honestly, when I came here, I was like, oh no, this is like where we're gonna hang out. But like you can hang on the balcony, just hang out in like other people's like bedrooms, just like chat, and it doesn't become a problem at all. So although like it looks different, like these are really nice places. Especially for people like rising juniors who have never lived in an apartment before. It's really like a cool experience. And having a balcony, sorry, Emma and Corey, but it's nice. Not gonna lie.
Cool. And what about, does somebody wanna? What about like shopping and like how far does that, like, what is that like to do? Is it close? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll chat on. So there's actually like a couple of grocery stores around, and because we're all spread out, some people are closer to one versus another. But for me, it's like a 2-minute walk, and it is a little tough sometimes finding like crossing the language barrier and buying something like over the counter, like deli or cheese. But it's like super easy to like find pretty much whatever you need. You'd have to get creative a little bit with some recipes you make, which is kind of fun too, to get in the mode of Greek cooking.
Nothing breeds creativity like necessity.
As far as other stuff, I would say we're in a really centrally located area of Athens. There's a huge area with a bunch of stores and shops like H&M and Zara and like some other stores like that. So those aren't super far away. So that's nice that we're kind of by all those areas. And then our neighborhood also has a lot of restaurants. It's kind of just like a really busy area. So there's a lot of coffee shops, a lot of restaurants. Other than that, there's pharmacies, like there's just kind of stuff dispersed everywhere. Whereas I think in the US, you kind of find everything at one like giant location like Target. Here, I would say there's a bunch of small little things that you kind of find dispersed throughout. So nothing is ever too far a walk away, which is really nice.
And kind of touching on like generally like health and then restaurants, the diet here is very, very healthy. There's a bunch of like fresh food, and some of the walks to class are pretty long, so we're definitely getting our steps in every day. And so I feel like just the combo of healthy food, walking a lot, having a stadium nearby which is free to work out at, really kind of aids a very like high quality lifestyle.
Fantastic. I'm going to return to that long walk to class in a second. But how about, do you need laundry? I mean, do you need shopping bags to bring, like thinking about things that people should pack or prepare? And then I'm thinking about how those bags sometimes come into play to do laundry. So if someone wants to talk about those things.
Yeah, I guess I can talk on that. So yeah, when it
A
comes to
little
like
more
bags,
into the microphone.
oh, sorry, is this better?
It's just like there's a line, and when you lean
Yes,
in,
yes.
just a little bit, it totally works.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so we do our laundry at the school, in the school building at CYA. So like we said earlier, we're all just like a short walkway from the school. So I think most of us, some people have like a laundry bag that they brought, or like I didn't, but I have like a backpack suitcase sort of thing. So I usually just put my clothes in there and bring them to school, just use that to transport them to and from school to do laundry. And it's open like all the time during the like school week. So that's pretty easily. There's also like a laundromat in the neighborhood, and some people just find it like easier, or they live closer to that. So that's what they do for their laundry. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for bags, it's not necessary to like pack them for like shopping and stuff. Like you get plenty, and we have like a little pile in our apartment for like when you go grocery shopping, or like you could use that for laundry if you wanted. The only thing that I packed for laundry was like a net bag. That's been pretty easy, but I know a lot of people have different strategies for that.
Yeah, also one more thing about laundry. So you do unfortunately have to pay to use the laundry at CYA, and you have to pay for the laundromat in town, but it's really cheap, which is nice. And like I said earlier, you can dry your clothes like on your balcony. So if you don't want to pay for a dryer, like it's a really great way to save money that way. So yeah, just save your coins that you get from like buying things, because they usually don't take really high dollar bills like 50s. So that's just a great tip. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say too, if you do decide to air dry your clothes, bring a bag that you're okay with wet clothes being in for the short walk from school to your apartment. And then shopping bags as well. They're easy to get, but something that's different than the States is that you have to pay for them. So just keep that in mind. It's usually only like 10 cents a bag. But I brought a reusable bag that I've been bringing to the grocery store that I found helpful.
CYA also gave us a reusable bag at the beginning of the semester, so I know a lot of people use that too, which has been nice.
Yes, dryers and easy access to drying is kind of not that common in a lot of other places in the world. So the fact that you actually have access to it, even though you have to pay for it, is a little unusual for some of our other locations. Okay, so tell me a little bit about classes. Somebody alluded to long walks. Like, how are the classes going? What are you enjoying about those?
I'd say that the profs have been really excellent. Like
Emmett, lean in a little.
all of the profs have been really high quality. So like the Greek Orthodox teacher just randomly had a lecture at Oxford, and currently we're taking Greek language and culture, art history, our seminar course. Students are taking the religion class, literature, and then Greek history. And all of those classes have been really cool. We've really got to kind of dig deep, and then I don't know if anybody's touched on this yet, but we've gone on like 3 different trips with our program where we've gotten to go to sites, which has been awesome. Like that's been very hands-on, and it was funny because one of the days our prof was like talking about how she couldn't fathom studying something if she wasn't right in front of it. And it's just wild that that's kind of like a privilege that some Greeks have. They get to actually go to the physical statues or temples and things like that, and study like what's legitimately right at their faces, which is cool.
Yeah, I think something else that we talked about, I think Emmett said, a lot of the art history and history, we have class like on site in certain places around Athens, and it's like usually probably a 15 to 30-minute walk wherever we go. But it's been really fun, I think, to like meet, usually we like meet and walk over together, like with your coffee if you want. And it's like really fun to like have class talking about the Acropolis at the Acropolis or at the National Archaeological Museum. And I think like I found myself being like, oh, we're going all the way to whatever today. And then I'm like, I'm learning about ancient history in front of ancient history. So I think that's a really cool perk of our program.
To expand on something Emmett said, he mentioned that we got to go on a few trips with our professors. So the first week we were here, we went to Delphi, which is a city like a few hours like north in Greece. And then for about 5 days each, we went to the island of Crete. And then we went to the Peloponnese, which is another like area of Greece. And those trips are really awesome. During the days, we're like in groups with our professors and we're doing a lot of like educational like tours and going to archaeological sites and things like that. But then usually in the evenings from like 5 p.m. on, we have free time. So that's like a really great way to like get to travel around Greece and like have like the school has it all planned out for you. And I think those have been really fun bonding experiences for our group too, because like once things are done around like 5 p.m. we have the whole night to like go out to dinner together and just hang out. So it's really fun to have those experiences.
I think that the like time that we get to spend with props and the like contact that we get to have with them is rare. I know that at St. Vincent St. John's we like pride ourselves on having a small like student to faculty ratio, but here it's like kind of wild that we've got to like go out to eat or go out to drinks with I think 4 out of 5 of our profs, and that's not something that's like weird to ask for. So that's kind of a testament to like the bonds that you can build in only two months.
So I want to hear from everyone just what was, and I'm not a person who likes favorites, but what was your favorite excursion thus far? And you can include some of the optional ones if you want to as well, that CYA also offers. So what has been your favorite excursion and maybe a little reason why? And it's okay if it's not the favorite, because I hate favorite selections. There's too many choices, but do your best.
I don't know if this counts as an excursion, but I figure other people will talk about the other 3, so I'll just add in this one. But I really liked that we had the opportunity to hike Mount Olympus. I think 30 out of 32 of us were able to go and do it, so it was pretty much the entire group, and it was an overnight trip, and we hiked like 4 or 5 hours up, and then we stayed at a shelter overnight, and they gave us food, and we had like beds and stuff, and then we woke up early in the morning and hiked all the way to the top, and then all the way down, and that was just a really cool experience. And like they were saying on the other excursions, we all kind of got to know each other really well, and it was challenging, but it was super fun. So I really like that we had the opportunity to do that.
Perfect. Yep. The other optional excursions, so there are some additional ones that CYA does, right, that you can opt into. You can mention those too.
Yeah, I ended up doing one of the 2 of those. I went to Metsovo, Meteora, and Yanina. Thank you. And I really enjoyed that one because I think it's a part of Greece and a culture of Greece that like no one really, I don't think any of us really knew about. Like, you know, the Greece that's like the Santorini and the islands, but this was in part of northern mainland Greece, and it's a very different vibe, culture, and architecture. And I think that was really refreshing and fun. And I think a lot of us enjoyed that because we went on that when it was kind of getting a little bit chillier for Greece, colder, I guess. And it was like kind of fall leaves and like a different type of like warmer architecture. And I think I really loved that, that trip.
So just as a quick point of reference, what is chillier in Greece? Just for the
Oh.
Minnesotans to understand.
It's like around, so it's what, mid-November, and it's probably like high 50s, 60s. So it's still like I'm wearing a turtleneck and a jacket, but I've become very spoiled, and it's gonna be a rough time coming back in Jan or in December. But yeah, just light jackets, I'd say, is good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also went on that trip with Emma, super cool trip, but I think one of my other favorites was Crete, just because it's like so far away, like the ferry there was 10 hours long. Like it just was crazy to be on a boat for that long because I've never been on a cruise. So that was really cool to see, and it was super early, like in our semester, so I think a lot of us didn't really know each other yet. So that was a really good opportunity to like bond with other people, get to know them. And then we went to Heraklion and yeah, is it? And those were just two really cool cities. We got to hike one of the gorges, which was super fun. Went swimming in the ocean. Just overall, a really cool city and had some great views. So.
I think my favorite was the Peloponnese, which we just were on a couple of weeks ago, so very recent. But the Peloponnese is another part of mainland Greece, but it has a very different vibe than Athens does. And so we were able to go, I can't remember exactly how many cities, at least 4 different cities we went to. And Nafplion was my favorite one that we visited. So it had a different feel to it, but you're still like by the sea. It was really beautiful. And then we also went to Olympia. So we were able to see the first Olympic stadium, which was really cool, as well as other like temples and things like that. We stopped in Sparta, and then where else did we go? Epidaurus. And oh yes, there's a big like ancient theater, and that was super awesome. So I think that one was my favorite because I really enjoyed all of the different sites that we got to see.
I thought that Delphi was pretty cool. We got to go to the Temple of Apollo, and that one, I think that the program made like a great choice in doing a lot of the trips early on in the program to kind of get our group very, very close knit. And yeah, so just like going out to sites with props and then having time with friends to bond was really cool.
Let's see. All of my favorite aspects have really been touched on, but I really liked the one Emma shared, the Metsovo Meteora and Yanina trip. That one was optional, and I'm really glad that I decided to go on that trip. And yeah, it really reminded me of home with like right when I was starting to miss fall. And also my very favorite thing from that trip was going to Meteora. There are a lot of monasteries there, and they're built on top of these like gigantic rocks like sticking out of the ground, and it's like one of the coolest like natural things I think I've seen. So I really enjoyed that.
Isaac?
Yeah, like Corey said, pretty much everything like everyone touched on was like my favorites, but I'd probably also say the Metsovo area, just because it was so different than the Greece. Like I went at least expecting, like I was expecting Greece to be mostly the islands every weekend, but like Metsovo was a very Central European small village feel, like surrounding mountains. And I was so impressed. Like it just gave 2 totally different pictures of Greece, but it ended up probably being like one of my favorite trips.
Thanks. Okay, I think I have a couple more questions. How did you approach financing the trip? Like, what did you do to prepare, and what kind of strategies, what things would you advise people in terms of thinking about financing costs on the trip and things?
I can share my approach. So I applied for the scholarships through CGE, and I got a pretty hefty scholarship, which I was really excited about. So that helped a lot. And then CGE also encouraged us to apply for external scholarships. So I did that. I can't remember the exact names of them because I did not get them, but I would encourage you to apply. because it never hurts. And then I had been working a lot and saving up a lot of money for this. And so what I've been doing is I have an Excel doc, and I record all of my expenses, and I have a set budget for how much I want to spend total. And then I divided that by 4 and have been using that as kind of a guide to make sure I'm staying on track, and see like if I'm able to spend more or if I should cut back on things.
I think that working cannot be understated, like working on campus, working in the summers. If you're going to be working an unpaid internship, applying for summer leadership fellows. I don't know how that made it into this Zoom call, but
It's true.
that's what I did last summer because I had an unpaid internship, but I got paid through that. So definitely just getting creative. And then scholarships is obviously huge too.
Yeah, I also think something that one positive not being able to leave the country is I haven't had to worry as much about it. I agree. I waitressed this summer, which was for sure my drive was money for study abroad. But also I think it's been nice to not have that be as much of a stressor because obviously international travel is more expensive than staying within Greece, but there's still obviously costs. But yeah, I think that we've been lucky because like I said, the cost of living in Greece is cheaper than other European countries. So hasn't been an issue yet for me.
I'd say another tip is just when you are trying to do experiences, just like getting creative with like ways to save money. Like quite a few of us have gone on island trips, and like I went on one island trip where there were like 6 of us staying in an Airbnb together. So then like the price per night was divided by 6. So it ended up being really cheap for each of us. Or like there's a lot of like foods, I guess, that you maybe want to like try just like for the cultural experience. But oftentimes I just like split it with a friend, and like if you just like do that consistently, like the savings add up. So just thinking of small things like that to do.
One thing my apartment has done has been we each get assigned a night of the week since we're usually gone on weekends. So Monday through Thursday, one of us makes dinner, and then it kind of balances itself out because you get dinner 3 nights a week and you only have to make dinner 1 night a week. So you're really only paying for 1 dinner that you have to make, and then you're getting food. So that's been kind of a fun way to share recipes and hang out with each other and still keep it pretty cheap eating wise.
Yeah, and one more thing that I haven't done personally, but I know that like other people in our group have done, is like fundraising back home. Whether that be like making bracelets or doing something that like you're super passionate about and selling it. That's a really great way to like give to other people, but also like them helping you in return. Because you know, like your family members want to help you out. People in your neighborhood probably do too. So that's a good way.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, I lied, I have 2 more questions, but they're kind of easy. What is one thing you wish you knew or you feel people should know before they come to Greece? What's the thing? Like while you were preparing or thinking, what's the thing?
This could have just been me, but I looked at, like, I knew the weather was going to be 60 degrees in November, but Minnesota and me was like 60 degrees is not very cold. I'm not really going to pack pants or coat. But when we get here, it's usually 80 or 90 degrees for the first month. And you get accustomed to that really quick. So when it does go down to 60 or 50 degrees, it does feel cold and you do want a jacket. So I would say all of us probably have bought a winter jacket here. Yeah, so I would say pack warmer than you think you need to. My other tip would be pack really good walking shoes. You're not going to wear heels, no matter how cute they are. The streets are really bumpy. We walk miles every day. So you just want to wear something that you're very comfortable in. So that'd be the other thing.
Good shoes.
Yep, layers, yeah. It does get cold, you get used to it. And then it rains, and sometimes that feels cold too. Other advice people should know before they go?
I don't know if this is advice, if like this is.
Queen.
I don't know if this is like a tip or anything like that, but I was kind of shocked that the language barrier is not really existent. Like most Greeks actually speak English because they're taught from like basically first grade. So I don't know if that's like a tip, but it's just something that I did not expect that ended up coming true.
One thing, oh,
Go ahead.
can I go? Okay, one thing I wish I had known a little more about was cash, I guess. And so I had gotten cash from my bank at home that I brought with me before I left, so euros. And I think I had like a little over 200, but almost everywhere accepts credit cards. So I would really encourage students to get a credit card without international fees. So you're not having to pay extra every time you have to buy something. And like I said, most places do accept credit cards, but our school, like to pay for laundry, you can only pay in cash. Or if you go on an optional excursion, a lot of times you have to pay with just cash. So I think looking back, I wish I had taken out more cash that I had brought with me. But there are machines that you can get cash from. There's just a little extra fee. So that was just something I wish I was a little bit more aware on before coming.
I have more of like it's not logistical, but more of like a mental health tip, I guess. Coming here initially, I think it's really easy it kind of just feels like a vacation right away. And like you are in a new place and it's really exciting and it's really easy to want to be like doing something really exciting all the time. But like we're here for 4 months, so like that's not sustainable. Like you need to give yourself time to rest, and it's easy to like, at least for me, to like feel guilty if I'm not doing something, or I struggled with that a lot at the beginning. So I think being realistic and knowing that like you will do a lot of really exciting things and you have 4 months, and to like spread them out, and like it's okay to rest for a day or like part of a day. And also that like, again, you're here for 4 months and like you might have a bad day or a day when you're just like feeling down, and like that's normal. Like you're still like living your life, and like just because you have like a bad day, it doesn't mean like your experience is bad. It just means like you're a person and you're living, and like different things will happen, and it can still be a really great experience even, and it is like a super amazing experience, even if like every single second isn't like the most exciting thing ever. So just like having those realistic expectations and giving yourself grace with that.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, because I was been thinking a lot about that and what like Greece has meant to me over like 4 months. Yeah, because it came in with the same idea that Corey did. Like every day we should be doing something new, or like every day I should be visiting a new cafe or a new restaurant or something. But like last week, I don't think I did anything. I think I left my apartment once and it was great. I took a nap and I was like, this is exactly like home. So it's fun to see Greece and to make it your home, because this will probably be maybe the second or third home you've lived in for this long outside of campus and outside your actual house. So it's really cool to be immersed in you're in Europe and you've made it your home. And like Emma was saying before, like, or Maddie was saying before, like it is the same neighborhood, and you get to know some of your neighbors, you get to know people at coffee shops, and even some of them even get to know your order after a while, which is really cool. So it does feel like a community here.
Favorite coffee shop, now that you brought it up.
There's this one.
Keiko's.
Yeah, Keiko's.
Yes.
They say it every year, and we all knew what happened, but we all love Keiko's. It's like right by school. The owner, Dimitri, Katerina, and Dora, we love all 3 of them. They're amazing. They're always looking out for us. Like it's just so fun to walk by there and we see one of us doing homework. And I think it's a really great bridge between like Corey and Isaac were saying, like when you need to relax and you need to be like, I need to take some me time. It's great to go to Keiko's because you can feel like you're doing something in Greece and immersing yourself in the culture, but also like relaxing and kind of having your own little bubble. So I think I'd say most of our group would say Keiko's because it feels homey, but also like, I don't know, they just make you feel very welcome there.
I mean, they have the reputation they have because it's true. Like they have an amazing relationship. Even the little time that I got to spend when I did a site visit. They were just so kind to me. They wanted to write letters to the presidents of the US, of St. Ben's and St. John's to talk about how wonderful they thought you all were. So like as our community coming year after year after year. So they are always excited to see you. Okay, the last question is, what is the thing that you think you will miss about Athens or Greece when you come back? That's like become part of your daily routine, that when you're like, oh no, I can't go to get that cappuccino, or I can't, no souvlaki in my neighborhood. What's the thing?
I think that I'll miss the conversations with our group the most. I think that every group has like a different way of kind of getting connected, and I think that all of us have very different interests and are very different people, but I feel like I've gotten very close with probably like 25 of the 32 students on this trip, which has been fantastic. So I think that would trump any archaeological site or food. Yeah, we have a really great group here, and I'm very grateful for everyone here.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think we're really gonna miss the professors, just because we've gotten to know them really well, after going on like the excursions with them and having them like every week in class. We can tell that they like really do appreciate teaching students studying abroad, and like they are very passionate about it. And yeah, they've just been like super amazing teachers and like very willing to help us out with any questions that we have. So I think we're really gonna miss that atmosphere and just all of them in general.
You can start crying.
You guys are making
Okay, I have,
other people to follow up all sweet and miss the group, miss the teachers. Yes, who's gonna break the ice and say something like cappuccino? Go ahead.
okay.
The nail.
So I'll say I'll say two. Mine, as the whole group knows, there's a place called Mr. Capito. And I love it there. Mia actually started my love for grapes, so. It's a place that we all kind of like go once in a while. They have sweet, they have savory,
Once in a
it's
while.
great. And I really like the workers there too, they're super nice. So I'm really gonna miss Capito, but on a more serious note, I'm gonna build off of what Emmett said, and we were talking before this Zoom. I didn't really have any great like close friends coming on this trip, and I really didn't know anyone in this room very well. And now like, so I think what I'm gonna miss the most is like, I think I built some really genuine, rare relationships that I think we're kind of taking for granted because we're just a little bubble of us. And I think when we get back, I'm really gonna miss like seeing these people every day, running into them every day, walking in class, walking into archaeological sites. And also it's a really rare thing to have like almost every class with all of us. Like we see each other on our highs and lows when we're talking in class, like when we're out at dinner. Like I think this is just a really awesome group where you get to build very rare, wholesome friendships. And I'm really gonna miss that. Because we're also all very involved people. So I know when we get back, we'll have our own little things, but it's gonna be awesome to be proud of each other doing that too. And Capito.
I'll just say ditto to what everyone has said, but in terms of food, the Euros are really good. So I know I'll miss the Euros, and they're really good like pastry shops and stuff too, besides crepes that are also good, and gelato. But I think I'm gonna miss the like view too, because we're like, if you're up at the stadium working out, you can usually see the Acropolis, which is really cool. So like I've gone in the morning sometimes, and that's cool at sunrise. It's also cool at sunset, or even when it's dark out and it's like lit up. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of like adventuring and just like exploring different neighborhoods. It usually seems like someone in the group is up to explore something. And so yeah, it's been really fun to just have like 30 people to do stuff with all the time, and be able to do like cool things all the time.
Yeah, the relationships are by far like my favorite part of this experience and what I'm gonna miss the most. But besides that, one thing I really enjoyed is living in a city and like being able to like walk or take public transportation everywhere. And just like our location in the city is super central. So it's really cool to have like everything, like all of your necessities for life, like all within walking distance in your neighborhood. I haven't had that before in a place where I've lived, and that's been really fun. So I think I'll
Building off of what Maddie said, I think I'll miss being able to explore any weekend. I mean, I never feel so swamped by homework and stuff to do all the time. But that we can just go to like a different restaurant one night and just spend like a couple hours there, or go to like a different island one weekend. I just think the opportunities are all there, just take it.
Okay. Well, as it is almost 8:30, and I don't know, what time is dinner? What time does dinner happen in Greece traditionally? Have you eaten yet?
Dinner hasn't happened yet for some of us. It's late.
It's like,
'Cause dinner, what is a typical dinner time if you were in Greece?
yeah,
8:30
8:30.
or 9. Everything is open a lot later here than in the US.
Well, it is about 8:30, so you must be hungry. So thank you very, very, very much for coming and sharing all your stories. And we will be sharing this with the faculty that's going abroad and the students. And I appreciate you being willing to be recorded and sharing all your lovely stories. It's been so much fun to hear. I'm a little envious and really excited for you. So have a good evening. Oh, little hearts. Yeah, I don't have anyone to do it with. Otherwise, I'd do the thing. Right? There we go.
Okay.
Well, have a lovely
Bye.
evening. Have a safe travels next week when you are on break, okay? Not next week. Yes,
Thank
next week.
you.
Nice though.
Thank you.
Bye.
He's still